Revooze in black and white. I am Bane, and to my right is D'Amico. Today we got a couple of scotches for you. We have Chivas Regal 12-year. We'll be starting off with that, and then we'll be moving on to Glen Moray Classic. I'm going to go ahead and crack open this Chivas Regal.
We're going to start off with the blend today. I think the blended whiskeys get a little bit of a bad rep. I know a lot of Scotch enthusiasts, some of them my friend, kind of turn their nose up to blended whiskeys. I typically don't. I like both. I think both of them have something different to offer. When we're talking about Scotch, Scotches have to be aged a minimum of 3 years, have to be 100% barley, and they can be aged or matured in used barrels. Unlike the bourbon casks, they have to be new casks. You can do the opposite with Scotch.
Yeah, they can go a little crazy with this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into this puppy.
Whoa.
That's got a pretty strong nose.
Yeah, what's the alcohol on this thing?
40%.
Holy moly. All right. On the nose, I got a lot of alcohol. Oh, never mind. There it is. I was going to say I'm not getting it so much, but it's definitely coming through toward the finish.
Getting the strong lemongrass.
Sure.
It is pretty smooth. It hits right away, but the finish is very clean.
It's burnt or dried orange peel.
That's interesting. I'm getting a little butterscotch too, towards like the way back.
Yeah.
Little candy sweetness.
Absolutely.
Gotta hit up that orange.
There's something almost herbaceous about this as well. Dare I say flat leaf parsley?
Let me refresh it, and we'll hit it up with some mineral water.
Spring water.
Spring water.
Excuse me. Again, I typically like to put a splash of water in my whiskeys, kind of open them up a little bit. It definitely changes the aromatics, and once it's you leave it a few minutes to kind of meld, open up those flavors. It tastes a lot different too. So sometimes you may not like it straight out of the bottle. Sometimes you want to drop a dollop of water and or ice. Typically, you don't want to put ice in your whiskeys, especially your single malts if you're paying big money for them.
Yeah, you might get a lot of flack for doing that, but I tell you what, it's a little like decanting your wine.
For sure.
It's going to open it up a bit, especially if you're getting the thing like we had right away. You're getting that heavy alcohol. Let it sit a while. Let that water open it up.
For sure. With the ice, for sure though, the ice, it brings the temperature down, obviously, and once you do that, you close the whiskey up. It becomes really, really smooth, much more palatable for most. But if you're gonna spend $100 on a bottle, you want to kind of taste it. You want to know absolutely every little nuance and every little complexity that's gonna come through on that one. So, if you want to do ice, this is what I tell people. Once you buy it, it's yours.
Yeah, do what you want.
Your money, you do what you want to do with
it. This is room temperature spring water we're using today, but yeah. Effectively, you're going to enjoy it either way, I'm sure. All right.
This completely changed. Wow.
It's still really, really nice and smooth. It lost a little bit of that kick at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. For sure. It's bringing out
I'm getting like more caramel and more
A lot more
butterscotch, and that stuff is really beefing up. It's very creamy too.
On that first sip, I didn't get as much of that lemongrass that you were talking about, but now it's really more of that herbaceousness. Maybe I should change my comment from flat leaf parsley to lemongrass. There we go.
Lemongrass.
Mm. That's pretty tasty.
All right. Well, next we got Glen Moray Classic. Got a nice 8-year. I'm gonna go ahead and open that up. What do you know?
The Glen Moray Classic is something they just released. I believe within the last year. I know they have a 12-year single malt as well. I believe that's one of their staples or flagship products. Glen Moray is in the from the Speyside region, which is the northern tip of Scotland, right off of the North Sea. Yeah, let's see what this bad boy's going.
First sniff. I'm really enjoying the nose comparably to the Chivas.
I agree.
There's a lot more going on. It's you're not getting the alcohol splash.
For sure. This,
I'm getting like a butter kind of like a milky cream smell out of it. I know that's weird, and that's something I've never heard of before, but
no,
and
milky
then you
cream
get
is fine.
the butterscotch too. That's pretty bold on the nose.
This is one of those whiskeys. I mean, it's a little toned down. It's a lighter body, little bit lighter flavor, but it's very typical of what a Speyside should taste like. A little bit of that grassiness, a little straw to it. Hint of peat. I mean, barely just hitting the radar on the peat monster scale. But the brininess, the saltiness, the salt air from the sea, you can definitely tell has been imparted in this product. This is very nice.
Yeah.
And some other decent, well, more well-known, I should say, Speyside whiskeys. Glenfiddich, Glenrothick, Glenlivet, Macallan. Those are all Speyside. Balvenie.
This is very popular region.
For sure.
You need a little bit more water. Open that up. I'm not sure if we mentioned this before. The Glen Moray is also going to be 40% alcohol, so both of these are going to be 40%. Main difference, you got the single malt versus the blended. We missed actually rating the Chivas. We're going to go over that in a second, and we'll do that back to back to the Glen Moray. You getting something different?
Not yet. I haven't tried it yet. I'm just letting it marinate. You can see it marinate though. It's almost like adding oil and water mixing together. That kind of swirly thing going on.
I'm getting a little straw. It definitely does cream it up.
It creams it up for sure. I don't think that I would add water to this particular one.
I think it dilutes it just a little too much.
For sure.
It worked on the Chivas.
I put a little bit of water in, and it just kind of did it away for me.
All right, so let's go back to the Chivas Regal. Let's rate that one.
Chivas, I would probably give that one a 70. No, I'm going to kick it up a notch. I'm going to give that one an 80.
An 80?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to almost match you.
Okay.
79. I know it's pretty close, but, Price is right. I don't want to go over.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right, Glen Moray, what do you
Before
got?
I get to the Glen Moray, what do you particularly prefer? Blends or single malts? Or do you go both ways?
I know, like most people are gonna say, I'd rather have the $120 single malt, 18-year, whatever. Somebody once told me that your blends, the way technology is now, you can get a blend that tastes just like one of these nice single malts for half the price, maybe even a fraction of the price. So I don't mind diving into a blend. And basically most of my drinking involves a little bit of mixing, not a whole lot, but a little bit. So I'm gonna have to go with the blend.
What do you typically mix with it?
I'll do anything. I'm
Okay.
open to anything.
Sure.
I do a lot of different stuff.
Somebody give him some ideas to mix his whiskeys with.
I haven't mixed a single malt yet, though. I think if there's like a little bit left tonight, I might give it a little try.
I have. I don't think I've ever mixed a single malt as well, other than water. But I go both ways with them, blends and single malts. There's some very nice blends, some very nice single malts. It depends on company that I'm having over. I have friends that love Scotch, but I also have friends that will drink Scotch, but don't really have the palate for Scotch. So I'm glad to pop up on a $25 bottle of Chivas versus a $75 bottle of single malt. So that's just how I roll.
Yeah. What's really nice about these two, you're looking at Glen Moray coming in as single malt. I know you're thinking to yourself, if you're not familiar with these two items, that the single malt's going to be the pricier of the two. Not necessarily the case. Glen Moray
sure.
is, if it is a little bit more, and I'm not 100% sure, it's not by much.
This one, and
Depending
just
on where
for
you're
these
at,
two,
too.
for these two in particular, these were a couple of dollars apart, and I'm talking like $2 and $3 literally. That's it for a single malt and a blend. That's kind of why we wanted to throw this one together.
Yeah, it's a nice pairing. So what
sure.
What's your rating on the Glen Moray before you go?
If I did Glen Moray, I'm gonna go 82.
82?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna jump up. I'm gonna give it 85. Alone, without the water, I think it does the job, especially for the money. I know how much it costs. It's affordable. It's great. Let's jump into the question of the day.
Question of the day. Do you have a whiskey preference, blended or single malt? Leave a comment, like us, subscribe to us. Let us know what you're thinking.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.